Ninja Never Clog Cold Press Juicer Review. Can hear it really struggling there. Oh! Oh, we clogged it! Never clogged my ass! That never happened with the Omega Cold Press 365. I didn't think it was gonna fail this terribly. Wow. Now what? So the shill tubers trying to sell you these so they can make a commission off the affiliate link in the video description are not going to show you the clog. And why did it clog? Because the motor's not as strong as the Omega Cold Press 365 juicer. Plain and simple. Does that make this a terrible juicer? Of course not. Does it make it less good than the Omega Cold Press 365? Yes. These look nicer. They're marketed better. Influencers online are pushing them, telling everybody they're great. So these are probably going to sell more units than an Omega. The pulp is super dry, so it is extracting juice from the ginger, which isn't a surprise because this seems like a direct copy of the Omega Cold Press 365, which is the best masticating juicer on the market right now. If other influencers with affiliate links in their video description are telling you this is better in any way, shape, or form than an Omega Cold Press 365, all they're trying to do is earn an affiliate link commission because Ninja Never Clog Cold Press Juicer Review. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. There is no money in honest reviews on YouTube. There is big money on doing positive reviews that have affiliate links in the video description. Let's see how the Ninja Never Clog Cold Press Juicer works. Does it compare to something like the Omega Cold Press 365 that's been around for 20, 30 plus years? It's old technology. To be honest with you, the Ninja Never Clog looks exactly the same as the Omega Cold Press 365. But like every other Ninja product in existence, they can't just make something. They have to make up a bunch of bullshit reasons why it's better. I like how Ninja chose to go up against Chef's Choice, saying pulp gets stuck in the filter and clogs, because that doesn't happen in the Omega Cold Press 365. This thing was $200 at London Drugs. The Omega Cold Press 365 is the same price. They wouldn't compare it to the Cold Press 365 because pulp doesn't get stuck in the Omega Cold Press 365 filter. They deliberately chose a model that would be shittier and show that. Cold press technology, a better way to juice at home. More juice per pound, 3 times quieter, easier to clean. Just these non-quantifiable claims, always. It's not easier to clean the Omega Cold Press 365. All the parts are identical. Ninja just copies existing products. What a hilarious term, never clog. Phrase that seems more applicable to toilets than to juicers. Am I right, ladies? Nothing worse. There's a less pulp filter and a lots of pulp filter. We're gonna use the lots of pulp filter. Usually Ninja uses cheap, shitty plastic on their stuff. This time, it looks like the masticator is heavy. It's made out of a really dense plastic, just like the Omega Cold Press. And these pulp filters are made out of a special kind of plastic, which should be resistant to abrasion, so you're not getting microplastics in your juice. That's something new from Ninja. The claim that this is quieter than other masticating juicers is absolute bullshit. If it isn't noisier, it's exactly the same. Struggling, man. The Omega Cold Press 365 has more power than this. It's struggling. The reason I like using ginger for this demonstration is I've cold press juiced a lot of shit, and ginger seems to be the hardest thing for these things to extract juice from. You can hear the motor really struggling here. It's not better. It doesn't perform better. It's not that much worse than Omega Cold Press 365, to be honest. Given that it is exactly the same price, I would get the Omega. The Omega Cold Press 365, tried, tested, true. That thing's been around for 25, 30 years. Ninja just released these to compete with them. But anyone who knows anything about cold press juicing is gonna use this and say, no, it's not better. It's not better in any way, shape, or form. The motor's not as powerful. But other than the motor not being as powerful and being a little bit noisier, everything else does seem to be exactly the same. It did a phenomenal job of extracting the juice. I think at the end of the day, the juice that we extracted from this ginger was exactly the same as the Omega Cold Press 365. I just don't know how long this motor is going to last because it was struggling. Whereas if you go back and watch the Omega Cold Press 365, it does not struggle. It powers right through it. Try and juice some garlic here. Garlic juice. Woohoo! That's gonna be rank. Now let's see what the cleanup's like on this bad boy. So I can already tell you, cleanup on this thing, identical to the Omega Cold Press 365, because every single piece, if you'll notice, on the Ninja juicer is exactly the same, identical to the Omega Cold Press 365. They didn't bother changing anything other than putting the name Ninja on it, which is kind of hilarious. Which, I mean, fair enough, you know? You gotta hand it to them. That's a great way to make a couple $100 million. Just copy existing products, but market them better. There you go. Cleanup, exactly the same as the Omega Cold Press 365. Zero difference. Very good, no problem. And so to compare the Ninja Cold Press versus leading centrifugal juicers is completely ridiculous because it doesn't matter. The difference between a cold press and a centrifugal juicer is night and day. You don't use these for the same thing. These are not for fruit. These are for hard vegetables. So we're gonna cut to the ginger juicing process right now. Fire it up and just start dropping your ginger in. Look at that. Ginger's pretty hard, man. You don't get a lot of juice if you juice your ginger in a regular centrifugal juicer. That's why masticating juicers are awesome.
Look at all that juice.
That's wild. That's wild to get this much juice from ginger. There's no way. There's no way the idiots that use the traditional kinds of juicers are getting this much ginger juice out of their ginger.
Look how good this works.
And look at that. Have a look at that. That is pure ginger juice. I'll hold it up to the camera once it's done dripping. First of all, here's the pulp that came out of the Omega 365 cold press. It is bone dry. There is no juice left in that shit. No waste whatsoever.